brand new, don't do it yet. All right, so how sweet to have Chloe, Bridget, Frida all here as a team fully together.
Yeah, it makes a difference. You can just kind of feel the energy in the gym. I think you guys probably saw it at the end, just the energy we ended with. It was incredible. I think they picked the concepts up so well. It was almost like they've been with us the last 2 weeks. So yeah, it was great to see how everything was clicking.
How satisfying is that for you to just not have to wait for what day, when's it happening? It's happening now, you can feel it happening.
Yeah, no, it makes a big difference just in terms of style of play. Now we can really get everything in that we were envisioning. So I think it's going to be great. Just really proud of what we saw from the group in the first game. I feel in terms of how we established our identity, I felt like there was a clear intent with what we were trying to do on both sides of the ball. So I think heading into that next LA game, I think we just want to double down on that and see how we integrate the new players.
Can you share some of the conversations you had with Bridget, just the leadership role you guys have?
Yeah, so I don't want to put a tag on her in terms of what level she needs to get to this year. I believe it's just going to happen organically, and that's really important. I think the situations I'm going to put her in as a coach, I think we're just going to let that emerge naturally, and I don't want her to have the pressure, that comes from me saying, oh, I want to get you to here. And I think that's, one of the reasons we were so high on getting Bridget here is part of what she brings. I think she can fit into any team and make a team better. And I think even more so our principles of play being so team focused, I think she's going to fit in so well to the offense. And naturally her usage is going to increase, but just naturally, as opposed to being like, all right, we're going to run plays for Bridget.
Similar vein, and just what does she bring to the table? What did you see out of her day one, day two, that type of thing?
Yeah, so firstly, I think defensively, that's where we really want to establish the identity. And I think that was probably what was most clear in that first game. I think we have the potential to do some really unique things defensively in terms of how we're disrupting and how we're creating environments that other teams don't typically see, so that they're not comfortable for that. So I think Bridget fits in so well there in terms of point of attack defense, like defending the best matchup night to night. So I think with some of those lineups we're going to see, I mean, just imagine the length when you've got like Nads, SA, Bridget, like we got really good point of attack defenders here. And then offensively, I think obviously the shooting piece now, you see and feel the difference with the spacing out there when you add Chloe, Frida, Bridget in one day.
We've had some more time to, go over the tape of the first game. Were there any things that really stood out to you, positive and negatives over the last?
Yeah, Nick. So I said after the game, I said to the team in the locker room, if there was one word to sum this up, it would be encouraged. And then today I said I'm going to add an extra word, very encouraged. And it's completely true. I think you look at the game, the defensive fouling. I mean, it's always like that. Every early on in the season, it always starts. Refs call a lot. It's just how it starts. But I think there's some things we clean up with the defensive rebounding piece, and we really emphasized that today in practice and saw some great changes. So I think looking at the 4 factors from the game, really positive in our favor. Our rim attempts were great. We had the lowest mid-range, 26%. That would be the lowest for a W team, to put it in context from last season. So that's a big win. So I think if we can do a better job on the O-glass with us crashing more and then stopping the other team from crashing, we're in a good situation.
Alex, obviously the game the other night, you didn't have everybody, and you're kind of playing who you could play. Or you're going to view Sunday as kind of a dress rehearsal situation for opening night as far as?
Yeah, great question, Sean. So I think will be some more. Yes, to a certain degree. I still think we're going to keep trying some different lineups that I want to get a look at before the real thing. So I think it's kind of a bit of an experiment still, but yeah, we're certainly going to be ramping things up, obviously in the build-up to that home opener.
You talked about connectivity for the first game. Is there another statistics for connectivity, or how do you kind of value that connectivity?
Yeah, great question, man. So I think firstly, when you look at the way we're going to defend, it requires 5 players working together to really anticipate the next rotation and where they're going to go. So I think there are tangible things with that style of play that we can actually look to see if we're connected on the defensive end. And I think it's the same with the offense, because a lot of what we're seeing is like we're really putting an emphasis on cutting and movement off the ball. So again, that requires 5 players in sync. But then I think it's a lot of stuff like how much are we, when we come into the timeout, is the energy and the spirit right? Are we high-fiving and fist-bumping throughout the game. So I think there are some of those intangibles too that we're going to count as wins this year if we can really double down on that.
And Corey, what kind of started out slow approach in the first half, but she kind of got more.
Yeah, I mean, completely expected. She's had basically 1.5 practices, so you could really see throughout the game like what Carla's going to be this year and how she's going to develop. But I was really excited by what I saw in that second half, the pick and roll creation, the ability. I mean, she's just elite, like 94th percentile drive rate, which is elite. So obviously thinking how we can make use of that within the offense.
Last one, or how she can lead this team. And
I can take 2 more. It's cool.
can you talk about more about her potential?
Yeah, so for me, Brenda, it's more I want to see multiple leaders here. So what we're intentional with doing is I don't want to single like one person out in particular, but I want to create this environment where multiple players can step up, and then we're going to see naturally, after 5-10 games, team leaders stepping up, having those conversations in the locker room, etc. We can go 2 more if there are any.
First game coaching at the Moda Center. How excited?
Oh, can't wait. I mean, the Seattle game was good just in terms of I felt like we were really in sync as a staff. Like for the first game, I couldn't believe how smooth it was and how relaxed we were out there. But just being able to see the home fans, we're talking about making this one of the harder places to play in the league this year. So obviously, we can't wait.
What's the biggest win that you took from the last game?
Say principles of play, the transfer, the retention for offensive, defensive identity was great. Cool. Thanks everyone. Good stuff. Thank you.